We have that Gombe State Security Council has reaffirmed its commitment to safeguarding lives and property while strengthening the state's status as a haven of peace and security in the region. This pledge was made during an expanded security meeting held at the new banquet hall, Government House, Gombe, on Monday. The meeting, chaired by the Deputy Governor Dr. Manasa Jatu, extensively reviewed the state security situation with a focus on seasonal issues such as farmers-herders conflicts and cattle wrestling. In its resolution, the council reaffirmed that while Gombe State remains relatively peaceful compared to other states in the country, sustained and coordinated efforts are needed to address persistent security threats. The state is deemed relatively secure. However, emerging threats, including increased cattle rustling and associated kidnappings, require immediate attention, the council noted. The meeting also identified the influx of criminal elements from neighboring states as a contributing factor. On the farmers-herders conflict, the council noted that while these conflicts have declined overall, a few local government areas have reported an uptick this year. The council pledged to strengthen the farmers-herder committee to mitigate recurring conflicts. Mufasa, I'd love to get your thoughts about this. I don't know, when was the last time you visited any of the northern states?
Well, I think the last time I visited, Abuja is in the north, right?
Abuja.
Yeah.
Abuja is a capital territory.
Okay, and it's in the north.
Yes, it's
so
a northern.
you can
say yes. You can say it's in the north.
No, it's in the north, and that was in I think about 3 or 4 months ago.
Abuja, right? It's Abuja. We can say Abuja is safe as it stands.
No, Abuja.
I mean, states like Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara. You know, when was the last time you went there?
I can't remember.
Gombe,
I can't remember the last time. I can't remember.
As it stands, there's been cases of insecurity right now.
Yeah, even in Abuja.
Yes, even in Abuja, but it's not as so bad that there has to be IDP camps in Abuja.
No, but that hasn't...
There's been cases of kidnappings in Abuja, you know, and all of that, but not the one you have the Lakurawa group invading houses, destroying properties, killing people, you know, and making away with their cattle and whatnot, and explode and explosive what do they call it? I don't know how to put it. Explosive devices that they've been using, and most of them are sophisticated. You know, so there has been case for concern in the north as it stands. What's your thoughts about this?
Well, I know that the primary responsibility of every government is to protect lives and property, and anything short of that is unacceptable. Okay, so that the government of Gombe State has come out to reassure the people that, you know, they will be alive to their responsibility. I think it's a good one. But like I've said before, enough of all the talking. I mean, we want to see actual actions being carried out, you know. If there are still pockets of violence, criminal activities, cattle rustling, and all of that, then the government has to see how they can either put it to a complete stop or reduce it to the barest minimum. Well, of a truth, Gombe State has not really been having what we used to hear in other states in the north. You know, like you just mentioned, the Lukurawa, or what they call themselves, you know, how they've taken over some states in the northwest and the northeastern states of the country. We hope that whatever they've said, whatever the government have said, you know, they will be true to their words and ensure that the people are safe, their property are safe, students can go to school, farmers can go to their farmlands and do their business without being harassed, attacked by marauding, you know, herdsmen. And so these are some of the issues. So for me, it's a good one, you know, but it's not enough to talk. They should ensure that, you know, they match their words with actions.
Okay, I wanted to ask, what's your thoughts about the case of insecurity in the country? How do you think it affects the economic value and the aspects of agriculture and feeding?
Well, of course, there's no gainsaying that. You and I know the humongous, adverse effects of the insecurity generally in the country. Like you just made mention of farmers not being able to go into their farmland freely as a result of the insecurity. And already we're having a shortfall in food production. Farmers are paying taxes to bandits in the north. Yes, farmers are paying taxes to bandits, non-state actors, running over millions of naira. So when you want to place that side by side with what will eventually be the outputs and what will be the cost of stable food products, it's of course, it's going to be expensive. So for me, the government should understand that the more we're having cases of insecurity, especially in the north where most of our food products come from, we'll keep, having to buy tomatoes, onions, and some of these staple foods that come from the north at a very high price. And already we are passing through a lot in this country. People can hardly, fend for themselves and their families. So government should ensure that farmers are adequately protected so that, there will be no reasons.
How would that be made possible? What steps do you feel is right? The right steps the government has to take to curb the insecurity going on in the north right now?
Well, it's simple, very simple. We're talking about modern day crime and criminality. And what I've come to realize is that the Nigerian government is fighting insecurity with the analog system. You understand? We need to apply more digital system in combating crime and criminality. We need to think of other ways of doing things. And basically, it's technology. That's our usual kinetic pattern, deploying troops and going to the bushes with vehicles and both manned and unmanned vehicles that would easily be detected by these marauding criminals, bandits and terrorist groups.
Okay.
We can look at ways of bringing more modern technology, because if you feel that what you are doing before is not yielding the desired result,
it's not like there has not been results.
They haven't.
There haven't been any results, because we actually got reports that in Zamfara State, those troops rescued some kidnapped victims, and most of these bandits were apprehended. Does it mean that there has not been results, or there has been results but not as much as we wanted? So you are actually of the opinion that advanced technologies should be used.
Now let me just give you a simple example. In Niger State and Zamfara State today, there are notable, well-known bandits, kingpins. In fact, these are people who come out time and time again to dish out threats to the Nigerian state. One of such is the one called Toji Bello. How come up till this moment he has not been apprehended? If we have sincerity of purpose and intention, I'm not saying that the military, they are not doing their best.
Okay.
But perhaps their best is not good enough.
Okay.
Because as we speak, people are still paying taxes to bandits. Just in the news this morning, we heard that a bandit leader that kidnapped, I think, some farmers or so, rejected 300 million naira that was paid to them as ransom.
In what state?
I think it should be in either Zamfara State, one of those states.
The breaking news today?
It's in the news. You can fact check.
Okay.
300 million naira was presented to them.
And it was rejected.
It was rejected. So imagine if they could have such audacity. It shows that they believe that they can do whatever they like with impunity, because if they have that fear that they can be, caught up with at any time, I'm sure they would not have the temerity to be doing whatever they're doing, even in broad daylight. So for me, the only way that we can ensure that these things are put to a stop and reduced to the barest minimum is to see how we equip our security apparatus, the security architecture, with modern equipments used in fighting crime and criminality, as what is done in Europe and America. Nigeria is not the only country that we have, criminal elements. But when you go to other parts of the world, they mash them bumper to bumper. They don't allow them to sleep, because when you allow them that little opportunity to rest, they plan another attack. Because for them, they have the leeway to do whatever they are doing. The people are suffering. Farmers can't go to farm. So let us be serious as a government, as a people, in ensuring that we are fighting crime and criminality. Otherwise, what we are doing, for me, I call it lip service. And lip service will not give us the desired result. Okay,
thank you. So in essence, in as much that there are steps to take to curb the insecurity in the north, it's not like the north is the only state that actually has this case of insecurity, because the south actually has cases. We hear about farmers going to farm and get abducted, and then the butchering cases and kidnapping
even
and all of that.
Even
travelers attacked, and all of
into
that.
The bushes, so it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But the north is it's more like a center
the epic center of
insecurity, and this is where most of this foods we consume, the staple foods we consume are gotten from. So the cases of insecurity should be handled, and adequate technologies should be used, and that's the way forward.